Oh, this needs to go back to Thaddeus. Paul had it. Paul was a slacker.
All right, we good? Everybody good? We're good.
Good morning and welcome to the County of Berrien. It is a pleasure to have you all here today. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. As a reminder, please silence or turn off any electronic devices during the duration of our meeting. Any materials that you wish to have distributed to the board, you can do so by giving it to our Sergeant of Arms, Commissioner Jim Kern, who sits here on my left. And if you wish to address the board, please do so during the appropriate times in the agenda by going to the podium, stating your name and jurisdiction, and you have 2 minutes to speak with us. Right now, we are going to have the invocation offered by Commissioner Bob Harrison, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Mamie Yarbrough. Please join with us if you wish.
Please join with me. We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. Please give us the wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in our lives and joy in our tasks, and the patience to listen to others. Please also let us remember those who are no longer with us, our servicemen and women, our emergency responders, and also for those individuals involved in wars in the Ukraine and in Israel. Please keep those in your thoughts. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want to say
Thank you, Commissioner Yarbrough and Commissioner Harrison. Much appreciated. Moving on into the agenda, we come to the point of roll call.
Bell.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Freeling.
Here.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkelman. Majerick.
Here.
Here. Pittsburgh.
Here.
Allred.
Here.
Oracle.
Here.
Yarborough.
Present.
Elliott. We have 10 present and 2 absent.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Next item is the approval of the minutes from October 19th. I would entertain a motion
So made.
made by Commissioner Pitchford. Is there support?
A second.
Support by Commissioner Majerick. Is there any discussion, amendments, or changes? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. Communications.
We have no communications.
No communications. I didn't think I had seen any. The next part that we come to on our agenda is public comments regarding any of the resolutions on our consent calendar. If there is anyone from the public that wishes to make comment, please do so by going to the podium, state your name, jurisdiction.
Good morning,
Good
Ezra
morning.
Scott, New Buffalo Township. Board members, your first job is fiscal responsibility to the taxpayers of this county. I know that for a fact. Please familiarize yourself with the drain code. Most of us don't. I didn't before. I knew part of it. Chapter 8, Section 280, 196 clearly talks about how the county drains are to be maintained. There's over 700 work orders right now on maintenance. On your rec list today are 5 drains for engineering services of over $200,000 for those 5 drains. These are unbudgeted. This money, if approved by you on the rec list, will come out of the county's general fund. And how that money is going to be paid back to the taxpayers, I think is part of your fiscal responsibility that you should be doing as county commissioners. In the drain code in chapter 8, it clearly talks about how much money it takes to repair a drain and how that money is acquired and through assessments. The problem here is if it goes over $5,000, not including inspections or engineering, that happens to be in there, and this is engineering we're dealing with today. If it goes over that amount, the drain commissioner has to, it says shall, get the approval of the city, township, and village before proceeding. The problem is, there's no place on the rec list that tells you anything about whether or not any of that was done. So in absolute certainty, when assessments do come out, it'll be the county board who approved those assessments, not the drain commissioner. Thank you.
2 minutes, sir.
Thank you for your comments, Commissioner. I appreciate your comments, Mr. Scott. Are there any other public comments related to resolutions on our consent calendar? By all means.
Is there a microphone up? Is that the microphone? Okay. I'm Barbara Stark. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and I'm here because I would like to begin the process of informing you of ear acupuncture used nationally and globally for the treatment and prevention of addictions, whether it's coffee, sugar, opioids. Most of what I do is treat nationally, not locally.
Ms. Stark, is this related to one of our resolutions that we currently have on our consent calendar?
I thought you were discussing the upcoming opioid monies that are coming in, and I just wanted to put a plug in.
That is not on our consent calendar, but that would be something you could address in our general public comment. It will be considered for next week's action.
For next week.
Yes, ma'am.
So come back next week?
No, ma'am, if later in today's agenda, there's open public comments.
Okay.
This is the section of the agenda where you can only speak to items
Okay.
on the consent calendar.
So I snuck in and got more than my 2 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Yeah, in general public
sit
comment,
down and keep quiet. And
we will be coming there very shortly. I appreciate that.
sorry about that.
No, no worries at all. We appreciate you being here. If there are any other public comments related to items on the consent calendar and resolutions for today's consideration. All right, seeing none, we will close public comment for that portion of our agenda. I will now entertain a motion to adopt or approve the consent calendar as presented.
I will make that motion.
Moved by Commissioner Volrath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Pitchford. Discussion? Commissioner Warfel.
Could someone from finance please explain to me then about the requisitions for the drain, if those are coming out of actual general fund or not?
So the items that we have here in consideration for requisition, you will see that it's crafted where the first half of the list is the requisition total, and that is $515,000 and some change. The bottom half of that are change orders, and what we've been asking from staff through finance, and I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I should have defer to you as the chair of finance. Thank you. I appreciate that. The bottom half is the change orders, and we've asked staff to just keep us abreast of those change orders, that we can kind of keep track of those totals and how they are either decreasing, increasing, so that we can have that discussion if need be. Madam Chair of Finance, would you like to add anything?
No.
Okay. Does that answer any question or concern that you have?
Yes, but I'm assuming that the drain commissioner has not come in and discussed the changes with finance.
No, it's not. And he was there today, but for something else.
Okay.
But I will say that the concerns of Chapter 8 references in Section 196, maintenance costs, and it's $5,000 per mile in a given year. There is the exemption of engineering, and I forget what the other portion of that was. And so those costs are assessed back to the properties in a special assessment district that's established, and the drain commissioner has oversight of those districts and the expenses that are needed based on work orders that come into the office. Mhm. Are there any other questions, discussion as it relates to the consent calendar? All right, hearing none. Roll call.
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling. Yes. Harrison,
Yes.
Jarek,
Yes.
yeah, Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Warfel,
Yes.
Yarborough,
Yeah,
Bell.
Yes.
We have 10 yeas.
All right, the consent calendar has been approved and all those resolutions included on it. We had no added resolutions, so now we come to committee reports, and we will start with personnel.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. We met this morning and considered a number of items. We will have 4 resolutions for you for next, well, actually 5. The first 4 relate to the following items. First, thank you to the sculptor for the repair to the Madeline Bertrand statue that was stolen and damaged. The second is a renewal of the parks millage. The third is a grant application for the Parks Department to purchase replacement snowshoes. And then the fourth is a complement change in the clerk's office due to the early voting requirements that were passed by the legislature. So we did review those, and well, those will be on your agenda next week. We also had a meeting with the Health Department to talk about the opioid resolution, and we did review that, make some changes, and then that has been talked to at the various committees. And so we did approve that, and we'll be presenting that next week for your action. We also had 3 advanced step hire requests, one from the Health Department, one from the Family Division and Trial Court, and the third from the Animal Control, and we did approve all of those. And then we had a great report from Laura Freeling, the Register of Deeds, talking about changes in the department, some suggestions and recommendations for the future. And that would conclude our business this morning.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions for personnel? Right, hearing none, we'll move on to Administration Committee.
Thank you,
Commissioner
Madam
Kern.
Vice Chair. Because the flu or the Health Department was providing flu shots down in the Otto Grau room, we met here in this room. And first in to see us this morning was our Chief Public Defender, Scott Sanford, and Commissioner Ott would like to report out on that.
Yep, Scott came in from Public Defender's Office, and he just had some quick things to inform us about that the grant that they applied for to use a deputy from the jail in escorting prisoners back and forth so that they can discuss their situations with their attorneys was approved. He also informed us that their budget, which I believe he said started in October, was also approved. let's see, he also talked about a new state-approved workload for his attorney, well, statewide attorneys, which he believed to be unrealistic because of lack of staffing, lack of attorneys. He was happy because luckily on our side, we have a good and supportive staff, so it works out well for him. He also brought up that he did not agree with the numbers that were coming from the county, but he's been speaking with that, with the courts to address his concerns and to address the problem. Apparently, it's a new software issue, and that's in the works. Luckily, Carrie from trial court was there, and she said that they have been discussing that with him, and that this time they can't create new documents or files, but that's something that's in the works. So we're just waiting for the software to get the kinks worked out, I believe. And that was really it from him. It was pretty quick visit.
Thank you, Alex. Next in to see us was Judge Mayfield and Carrie Smith-Tanka-Haney, and Commissioner Werfel would like to report out on that.
Thank you. First thing they went over with us was the vacancies at the court. They still have 27 full-time positions that are open. That's a 12% vacancy rate over there. Then she talked about the friend of the court. I think about a month ago, we had Lisa in on the friend of the court. She talked about the offsite that they were going to do. Judge Mayfield reported that that was a very successful event. They had a lot of people that came, a lot of questions answered, and people were very appreciative of that. Mark your calendars. November 21st is Adoption Day. Mr. Scott, I know you enjoy going to those as well, but just some advance notice. They will have an agenda of how many adoptions that day and what time. Right now it's set to start at 11. There are 5 adoptions that will take place that day. That is the week of Thanksgiving, a very appropriate week to always have that adoption day. They don't have all the details if someone's coming down from the state Supreme Court for that as well or not, but that will be coming out. But you can mark your calendars for the 21st. She also updated us on there's a change in January regarding the probate processes, and that's all related to mental health. In those filings, there's updates coming actually in a couple weeks on the landlord-tenant processes. Those are shifts in the processes that happened during COVID, and changes to that process, those processes that the state has made. They have asked, our court has asked for a 30-day extension just to get the paperwork all in order and all of those kinds of things. So the changes are related to the timeframes for requesting assistance is how they explained it to me. So if you have more questions than that, call Carrie. Friend of the court was the last thing. There's a move on the friend of the court from the people that were stationed at DHHS. They're moving to the courthouse, and that is expected to be done before the end of this year. And then lastly, she wanted to correct the record. There was a comment made about the juvenile center, referencing that there were 12 beds in the secured detention. There's actually 16. So she wanted to make sure that that was clear. So now I've said it here. That's my report.
Thank you, Julie. After that, we had Brian and Terry in to see us. They talked to us about the resolution dealing with the opioid that I think all the committees were briefed on. And then we were presented a memorandum from animal control on their winter hours. So we will take that under consideration and let them know our thoughts. And that is our report.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions, comments for admin? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to Finance Committee and Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. This morning, we had visits from Chris Swihart, Dan Trail, and Scott Sanford. We had so many waivers and bids that were open that they thought if they were there and we had questions, we'd be able to handle them well. And that was a real good move. I want to tell you that in the indigent defense, where their offices are, they needed another room. And Fiskars is adding a room, and it's going to be $9,500. Chris Carr owns the building and they're contractors. And so they will keep it in the style of what it is, that it'll be a good place. And Scott was there to explain or answer any questions we may have had. And then there are a lot of things going on in Buchanan in 500 Circle, 500 Circle. And it's, what it is to connect them, to have a presence with the security and a lot of the things that they had are outdated or no longer there or not ours. And so with AT&T rewiring and all the things that are going to happen soon, they'll be in our system, all work. And that's a start on, it's our building. Yes. And so that's why they were here to, if we had any questions or wondered about anything, so it made it good. And we agreed and with the waivers and all of that, so it's going to happen. Then I want to tell you about Guy Miller and Annette Krieger, and Annette coming in to us about the opioids to explain. We had to split up, there's so much going on here about the opioid, and it's real good to see that they have plans and you know what will happen in the year 1, 2, 3 of a total of 18 years that this is mean to go on, but we're getting ready. And by April 1, I think they believe that they'll be ready to start something. Let me see what else. And then we had a meeting and a presentation from our drain commissioner, Quatrain. And he gave us all kinds of numbers and all of the different properties that are assessed and that are in the drain row. I used to ask him, how do you get this named after you? And I don't quite know what he said, but there are many drains with family names and first names and all. And so it was very interesting. And he's doing a lot of work with a lot of communities. They're pleased. They're putting townships, villages are putting in money that they have in their road things to make things better. And they agree on the bike paths and the different things that are going on. Ox Creek, he talked heavily about that. A lot of things are happening and I'm pleased about that. Then I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. We approved our minutes and we had a number of bids. There's no need to go over them. The bids we approved and they were for, again, I talk about a lot of them are for snow and salt and all kinds of things, patching the road. So a lot of work going on. That's all I have. If you have any addition, you are Commissioner Bell. It's okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Yes.
One thing that we also discussed was the committee had a desire to see a resolution of support for House Bill 4906.
Thank you.
We're going to work on drafting that, getting it in front of Finance Committee, then we'll share it with the board. For anyone not following this, it's the House is considering legislation to try and encourage data center development. So like, just cloud storage. So this is something that locally, Cornerstone Alliance has gone and testified in front of the state on the benefits of the legislation in an effort to try and encourage the passage with the hope of bringing projects locally that would be data center related.
Yes, and we had that request and Director Dissett thought it should come to the Finance Committee. And so we're going to be working on that and getting it together so that it can get to Lansing or wherever it needs to be before they actually vote on it.
So the House bill is set to go before committee next week. I think you've got easily a couple of weeks before it's likely to move out of committee. So there is time. We'll work on getting a statement prepared and we'll share with the Finance Committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, comments for finance? Okay, hearing none. We're going to go around and do commissioner reports, just being mindful that we do have another closed session scheduled at the end of this meeting. So as concise as possible. We'll start with you, Commissioner Ott.
No report.
No report. Microphones.
Again, I have no report.
No report.
I attended meeting for our career pathways out at Lake Michigan College Executive Committee, attended the Area Agency on Aging annual meeting, and also there was an abbreviated meeting of the LPAC.
No report.
I attended 911 along with Commissioner Wolfram Volrath. Caitlin informed the 911 committee of the 800 megahertz tower down in Buchanan Township, that can now move forward. So everybody was pleased about that. And just one other highlight is that she's working with the state on creating a program through the CTE in the school, the Career Technical Education, on getting dispatchers certified in high school so that then they're trained and ready to go and she can hire them. And that's my report.
Madam Chair.
Yesterday, I attended the 911 meeting and.
Hold on one
I'm
moment,
sorry.
Dave.
Oh,
I'm sorry, just to follow up on your comment related to 911 and their efforts to recruit. This evening, the sheriff, local law enforcement, juvenile center, and 911 are all going to be at the college. There's a career recruiting fair, and I'm really pleased to see not just our sheriff's office, but several of our departments trying to get people interested in careers with the county. Sorry to interrupt. Please continue, sir.
okay. Yeah, as far as the 911, she updated us on the, they're not as short on people now. Their staff is getting, fuller and their body bigger and helping out the issues there. So that's a good news also. Monday attended, I missed the AAA meeting. Monday is the first annual meeting I missed, but we had our meeting in Lansing, our Judiciary and Public Safety Committee, which I'm the chair of now, so I didn't want to miss that. We had a presentation by Dr. Carl Hawkins, who's a longtime doctor up around the Bridge area, and he's the president of the Medical Examiners Association of Michigan. He gave us a lot of good information, and the gist of it is we're short on medical examiners, like a lot of things in Michigan. He said we need at least 12 more. A lot of these medical examiners are having to cover 4, 5, 6, 8 counties right now, and it's a big issue with them. And it was a good presentation for us. So that's it.
Dave wasn't turning it on earlier, so I thought I'd help him out this time. Because we're right together sharing one. So anyway, 911, as the two gentlemen said, and I think they covered that well. Also had MAC HHS committee this week. We had a presentation by the Michigan County Medical Facilities Council, which was very good. There's 39, if anybody didn't know, there's 39 county medical facilities within the state. We do not have one. So it was fun, though, to learn more about what those facilities do. Then we had our legislative update, which is always a very interesting part. She gave a part of the meeting, gave us a great update on the juvenile justice, where that bill is going and the changes and all of those, that information. MIDC, the indigent defense, looks like it's going to be 40% up front next year and faster payments. So I think that's not waiting for things to be sent in. I'm not sure how that all works today, but I think it's the counties are very happy about it. I do know that. She also gave us a update on the PPT, the reimbursement, personal property. She said that's likely not to move in 23, so it's going to be 24 before we see anything more on that. Hotel motel tax was one I hadn't heard about, but this was one that in the Ag and Tourism Committee that I also serve on has been a big hot button for small counties, because small counties tend to also be places where there's a lot of tourism. And when tourism comes, guess what? They tax the ambulance, they tax the sheriff, they tax all of those things, but they pay nothing. So they put a strain on it, not a tax, I guess, and but they pay no taxes to help support those things. So this hotel motel tax bill is related to that. So after the meeting, I had sent a note to Brian. That's why everyone received what those bills were from Mike Crombie. It was like, can you give us an update on what that's all about? It's just the ability for smaller counties to be able to put a bed tax on a hotel motel that doesn't go to the tourist council, but would come to the county to do those support services. So not sure where it stands. It's been, according to what Mike sent us, it looks like it's been introduced twice by two different representatives, and both were out of Kent County, which actually surprised me that it was Grand Rapids that was proposing it.
It ties back to a proposed project.
Okay.
It's essentially they're trying to fund an aquarium.
Yeah.
So as the two bills are currently written, it's going to allow certain counties, not us, to be able to levy these taxes. And it appears to be somewhat deadlocked at the moment, but something that you all should give some thought to is if this thing is going to get traction, I think that it would be quite reasonable to be speaking with members of the legislature about, hey, if you're going to do this, do it statewide and allow the local units to take advantage of it. As it's currently written, it's only a handful of counties that would be able to enact the tax, and it's going to tie back to very specific public funded projects.
Yep. But that is what it was intended to serve. So,
Yep,
but it, dollars for the sheriff's office to help with those patrols, things like that are good things. Then last but not least, she updated us on the solar and wind siting, which to, all of our disappointments, Madeline did testify before the committee from MAC. And she also made several attempts to negotiate on how to better handle this before that bill was moved out of committee. And it all fell on deaf ears. There was no willingness to have any of those discussions from, let's have the counties involved, to let's have the PSC be what was the word she used? The negotiating or the mediating facility with the counties in the business or the local in the business. They would not hear anything to do with that. So that was quite disappointing to hear. So that's my report.
Thank you for
I
that.
have nothing to report.
I have nothing to report.
All right. Well, thank you for all of the updates that we did receive, and thank you all for being concise. I have no report as well, so
No report.
administrator. No, okay.
No, thank you.
No report there. So now we come to the general public comments. So anything that you wish to bring forward to the board, by all means, come to the podium, state your name, jurisdiction.
All right, so repetition is a great learning tool. So I'm Barbara Stark, and the reason that I'm here is I want you to be informed about ear acupuncture as probably one of the best efficacious treatments for addiction, along with medication and support and everything else that we've been doing. Ear acupuncture has now been given best practice designation by SAMHSA, which is the substance abuse arm of DHS, NHS at the Fed level. Most of my time has been in Lansing and traveling the country, training providers to do the acupuncture. I've been doing it for 25 years. I had a clinic here. COVID forced the clinic to close. And so I'm still doing it, but now I'm training providers. So I'll be doing one at Corwell in December. And so I just want you to hear the word ear acupuncture, NADA or POCA. So when those terms come up, I want you to be familiar to know, oh, that's the ear acupuncture that someone, wild, crazy lady came in and talked to us about, because it's very helpful for suicide prevention, anxiety, depression, and stress, not just in the addict population, but in our teens. And I do a lot of it for caregivers and the lay public. So if you have any questions, what I thought I would do is just give you my card, pass it around the table, you can have it. And then go online and look up ear acupuncture. You'll get an earful. So thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Stark. And if you would like, you can hand your business cards to Commissioner Kern. He'll make sure that those get to us.
Can we get your city, township,
Yes.
or village as well?
Thank you. That was the other thing I was going to ask for. Ms. Stark, when you have a chance, could you let us know city, town that you reside in?
I live in Coloma.
Coloma. Okay, thank you. That's perfect. I appreciate your comments. Are there any other public comments at this time?
Why, hi there.
Hello.
Ezra, New Buffalo Township. I just want to say one thing. Earlier this month, I have filed my paperwork and I'm running for Drain Commissioner for Berrien County. That's all I wanted to announce. The other thing is I appreciated, Julie, thank you so much for talking and supporting about the adoption. Every year that I was a county commissioner, I went. It is really something I would wish all of you would attend, if not for all day, like I was there, just one. It's really great to see the pleasure of a child who is being adopted by some parents for whatever reason. And what it does is it brings together only one word, and that word is family. And it's a very, very positive experience. And just to see the smiles on the children and on the parents, knowing that it's now the start of their journey as a family is really something. The judges are phenomenal. They spend a lot of time talking to the children, asking them the questions, why, and are they happy and everything else. And it really is. I mean, there's balloons and cakes and whatever. So it's really something. And thank you, Julie, for mentioning that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Scott. Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to address the board?
Just keep it short.
Pelzer, Hager Township. I want to say a couple of things about the senior center. I think I talked about it last time. I didn't get a chance to do the math. But population of our county is 154,000. It went down to about 2,000. And the budget is 3.3 mils, okay? That brings in the money for the senior center. So that amounts to about 2,657,000. And we have 7 of them. So you divide that by 7, that means each one gets 14.2%. 14.2. Now, the one I attend to, actually, I belong to the one in Coloma, where they don't have too many programs out there. I go to the one out there. And that one has about 40,000 people that it services. 40,000. That's 26% of the county population. That should be 26% of that budget. But no, we get the same amount as Coloma, all the other ones. So they're getting screwed. That's what it is. No, they got the population. They got a building. I told you last time. Their building is the old school building. It's bigger than this one. They got more programs. Therefore, they should have, instead of 379,000, they should have 69,000 or 691,000. 26% of the budget should go to that system right there. And the other few, the other ones shouldn't get 14%. Is that fair? No, they service 40,000 people in Coloma, maybe 10,000. The one down in Harvard, probably even less than that. And they get the same amount of money. They have small buildings. They have hardly any programs, but they get the same tax money from the county. That's not fair.
2 minutes, sir.
That's not fair either.
Thank you, Mr. Pelzer, for your comments. Are there any other public comments? Hearing none, we will close that portion of public comments. Other business. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board? Commissioner Kern.
Yeah, Madam Vice Chair, I just want to let you know that the crazy lady who got up and talked about the acupuncture, the cards that she provided us, we're gonna have them scanned, and we'll have all the commissioners will get a copy of it. Because you didn't give me enough cards for all of them. So he will scan them and see that we all get them. Thank you.
And I appreciate Commissioner Bo. No. I appreciate Commissioner Borath stating and clarifying that it was self-proclaimed.
Madam Vice Chair,
We appreciate
those were
you
her
coming.
words, not
Yes,
mine.
exactly. Thank you. If there is no other business, yes,
There is.
okay, yes.
I would like and bank meeting today at 1 o'clock, right in this room. Okay.
Go ahead.
There's also trust investment
Oh.
at
At
noon
noon,
in here.
yep.
So well, you're gonna be busy.
And then I gotta get a shot.
Which leads to the next part of why I asked our commissioner reports to be concise. We do have a closed session scheduled. That closed session is based off of MCL 15.268E to consult with our attorney regarding a trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation, which is referenced in the agenda. I will entertain a motion to go into said closed session. Moved by Commissioner Warfel, support? Support by Commissioner Volrath. Roll call.
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Jerrick.
Yes.
Hot.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walrath.
Yes.
Whirlpool.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Curran.
Yes.
10-8.